you got to talk about the veterans in California or just in the United States. There's a population of veterans that are homeless. There are a population of the veterans that have mental health issues that aren't getting addressed.
So of the unsheltered persons, that was that 310, 16% were chronically homeless, 32% female. For some reason, I don't have the male number. 1% families and 3% veterans. So I mean, I suppose that if we're at 30% female, we are at 68%.
Yeah, I was going to say males are definitely
Yeah.
probably going to be higher than the female statistic there.
Yeah.
So the homeless vets, because there is a bit of a differential there, right, for just people that are homeless and the homeless vets where they can go to.
Well, I think it comes down to the same root cause, which is of drug and alcohol abuse.
And that's mostly due to their time serving maybe somewhere or...
You know, I mean, I think, unfortunately, alcohol is a big part of the culture of the military. And the military's got a lot of great traditions and a lot of things that you can be really proud about being in the military. But I think that the focus on hard drinking and being part of every aspect of military life is probably something that the military needs to take a look at and change that, because I think there's a certain number of people that get caught in that and become alcoholics.
We have to readdress the VA. The VA's been doing a lot better job after Donald Trump came and put a format in place for other hospitals to be able to see our veterans. Under my administration, if you're a California veteran and the VA is busy, they can't handle it, you're going to be able to go to your local hospital and get taken care of. No more waiting. We ask these kids to go overseas, to give up their lives, their families, and when they get home, we forget about them. That's wrong. Now, in the last few years, you have seen a lot more programs come up. Trace Atkins, great country singer, wounded warriors, soldiers, he funds a lot of that stuff and he helps. That's great. But it's time that the state and the United States take responsibility for the kids that we sent to fight for our freedom, so we can do this, so we can talk about different stuff, so that people can have freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. These kids sacrifice their lives for us, yet when they get back, we're not willing to sacrifice a little bit for them.
I don't want to get too controversial, but I think anybody who's been in the military will tell you that drinking to the point of passing out is a big part of the culture. It's the manly man's culture of the military. I mean, and women get caught in that too, but I'm guessing that it's more prevalent in the you know, I think the more you're involved in like combat and showing how much you can drink and being able to drink somebody else under the table is something that they take pride in.
Wow.
I can tell you that I have a son who's a combat veteran, and I also have a son-in-law who's a combat veteran, and they've confirmed that with me pretty.
Wow.
You know, I even talked to a general in the Marine Corps and asked him about this, and they said it's a big concern of theirs. And they're now, for the first time in the history of the Marine Corps, really addressing this issue. But they've got a lot of tradition that they have to deal with, and you know, nobody wants to take away anybody's tradition, but at the same time, if it's hurting people and killing people, then that's a problem.
Yeah, so do you think that's kind of the reason why most of the vets, when they get out of the military and they can't, you know...
I think there's a lot of reasons. You know, alcohol abuse is part of it, PTSD is a part of it.
Yes.
I know that anecdotally I can tell you that talking to a lot of young guys who were in combat, that 18, 19 years old, they're put in charge of other people. They've given millions of dollars worth of equipment that they're responsible for. They're calling in airstrikes. They're negotiating with local leaders in Afghanistan and Iraq. They have really hugely important jobs, and not the least of which keeping the guy next to them on each side alive and making sure they get home. And then they come home and they're not qualified to do anything. They're qualified to kill people. And so they end up getting jobs in private security or working at a retail store, and they're treated like a young kid.
Yes.
And I think it's really difficult for them because they've they're used to being at the top of their game. They're an important person.
Right, I understand that, yes.
Yeah, I think it's
How can we change this for them, that they do get better jobs? I mean, what can we do there? I mean, what would you suggest?
That's a massive question. I think spending a lot more time on assimilation back into civilian culture, and to me, it's a lot like when I was working in psychiatric hospitals. We'd take somebody who had a huge, massive drug or alcohol problem, and we say, okay, we're going to give you, 7 days in the hospital, and we're going to get you all cleaned up, and then you're going to be okay. And it's like, no, you don't undo years of addiction in 7 days, and you don't undo the lifestyle of the military and get people assimilated into civilian life in a couple of training sessions or a video that you watch at the VA. We should be offering people long-term integration programs back into civilian society, and to be realistic about it. You probably don't go from being a hard-charging combat veteran to selling shoes at Macy's.
Free insurance to people that don't deserve it, free housing, free food. What about our veterans, the people that actually supported us? So that's a system that in California we're going to tweak, and we're going to make it right for everybody who has served in the military to get the health care that they need at the time that they need. No more waiting 3, 4, 5 months. And by the time you wait, we don't know if your system's still the same. You got to come back, get re-diagnosed, and now it's another 6 months out. No. If the VA does not have the capacity of doing it, because they have a lot of veterans that they're helping and they're a great organization, these veterans are going to be able to go to their local hospital and get it taken care of and do it right away. And that's something that we really need to fix here. And when they come back from overseas, we need to have health programs. We talked about mental health. It's the same thing with our veterans that are coming out to solve war, that just don't know how to deal with stuff, don't know how to come back into society the right way. So we're going to build programs for them to be able to come back. And the one thing about, we talk to homeless people, and we know the issue, we know that a lot of our veterans are homeless. You see them on the side of the road. You see them talking about, I'm a Marine, 50 cents, a dollar will help go a long way. Well, those people deserve that, but they deserve respect when they come here, and they deserve a place to go. And if they're hurt, we need to be able to take care of them. If they sacrifice their body limb, we need to be able to take care of them. So it's a community of veterans, because veterans work better together. There's a unity. Whether their mental health is right or wrong, it's funny when you put them in a group together, they unite. They're strong. So when we talk about this, we need to develop the program for them to be able to have housing on their own with other veterans, to be able to share the same experience, and get the VA to help us with their mental health, with their medical stuff at our facilities, not somewhere else. Not where they have to drive 4 or 5 hours to the next hospital. We could have somebody on there from VA that could say, hey, they need to go to the hospital. We could go to the VA. We call the VA says, hey, we're 3-4 weeks out. Okay, let's call the local hospital and let's get them in there and let's get them treated today. That program will be a lot better for everybody who serves in our country. God bless them out there, and I respect them. And, they help you say you're proud of being American. And they gave us the freedom that we have, so we need to give them the same respect.